we are going to be focusing on the principle of unity in this video. So if you think about unity, think about uniting things together. Okay, so basically all of the elements in a piece combine and create a sense of balance and harmony together. It's kind of like a glue that brings everything together. You can use any of the elements repeatedly throughout the whole artwork to create unity. Okay, so whether you use line, texture, space value, color, form, or shape. So let's look at some examples of these. So let's start by repeatedly using shape to create unity in some artwork. So this is a piece by Vasily Kandinsky. Okay, you can see that there's lots of shapes almost repeating. Okay, not only shapes, but also repeating colors. So sometimes you can combine more than one element together repeatedly to create that sense of unity. Here is another example by Magritte, where it's more of a form that has been repeated over and over throughout. But there's a nice balance in size and value here amongst all of these forms to create a sense of unity. So let's look at some other examples using color. Like I mentioned, the Kandinsky one that we just looked at also used repeated color. Here is an example by Jasper Johns where he uses a very kind of primary color scheme throughout the whole piece. Also, you could say he's repeatedly using the same kind of texture to create a sense of unity as well. This is an example by Picasso in his blue period. So here's an example of a monochromatic color scheme, which is basically just using shades and tints of one color. So here his monochromatic color scheme is primarily blue, but he has kind of that warmer brown neutral tone in there, which almost creates emphasis here. But the blue, the shades and tints of blue, gives it kind of a balance amongst the artwork and pulls it all together. Let's look at some examples using line. So here is an artwork by Vasily Kandinsky where he uses line throughout all of his artwork to kind of create a sense of balance. Okay, so there's some other things going on in here. You could say that maybe repetitive shapes also kind of pull everything together, but you can definitely see his use of line in here throughout the whole artwork. This is an example by Keith Haring. So all of his playful figures, which are basically kind of almost like doodles. So if you've ever seen work by Mr. Doodle, I would say it's very similar to Keith Haring's work. So let's look at some texture examples. So Van Gogh was very well known for using I guess brush strokes that were very notable in his work. So if you think about the Starry Night, okay, he used the same kind of texture throughout all of his work. You can see each and every little brush stroke, and a lot of it kind of takes on a swirly kind of motion. It kind of creates that movement in the artwork, but you can see that texture is everywhere. It's not just in the hair, it's not just in the background, it's throughout the whole painting, creating unity. Okay, and then here's an example of some texture, kind of like hatching lines almost, done by Leonardo da Vinci. But it is throughout the artwork, which is kind of pulling it all together. So these are some examples to give you some ideas for your artwork.